Hi guys and welcome to my channel. Myself Dr. Akshay, and in today's session I'm gonna be discussing about the topic mitochondria. If you guys want to learn more about the cell, its structure and its functions, then click subscribe and the bell icon. So let's do this together. Coming to the topic mitochondria. Mitochondria are known as the powerhouses of the cell. So, this mitochondria is composed of two lipid bilayer protein membranes. You can see these are the two lipid bilayer protein membranes, and they are outer membrane and inner membrane. Here, this inner membrane is modified into shells or tubules. And these shells or tubules which are modified from this inner membrane are known as cristae. And in this cristae, oxidative phosphorylative enzymes are attached. You can see these are the oxidative phosphorylative enzymes. And this inner cavity of this mitochondria is filled with matrix. And this matrix contains large quantities of dissolved enzymes, and these dissolved enzymes are very important for extracting energy from nutrients. So these dissolved enzymes which are present in this matrix of the mitochondria will work in association with these oxidative enzymes which are attached towards this cristae for the oxidation of nutrients. And this oxidation process leads to the formation of carbon dioxide, water molecules, and thereby liberating energy. And this liberated energy is used for the synthesis of high energy yielding compound called ATP, which is adenosine triphosphate. So after this ATP has been transported out of the mitochondria, this ATP then diffuses throughout the cell. So after diffusing throughout the cell, it will release its own energy. And this released energy is used for carrying out various cellular functions. And one more thing, these mitochondria are self-replicative. So when the cell is in need of large amounts of ATP, then this mitochondria undergoes self-replication. And this mitochondria contain DNA inside this structure. And this DNA is similar to that which is present in the nucleus of the cell. So consider one example. Our skeletal muscles. When these skeletal muscles are subjected to intense training, lots and lots of energy will be required. So from where this energy can be extracted? So this energy can be extracted from high energy yielding molecule known as the ATP. This ATP is produced from mitochondria. So in order to produce large amounts of ATP, mitochondria should self-replicate. So here, when the skeletal muscles are subjected to intense training, lots and lots amount of mitochondria are produced. So how mitochondria extract energy from the nutrients which are present in the food? So here, food. Obviously food contains carbohydrates, proteins and fats. And these will be getting converted to glucose, amino acids and fatty acids inside the GI tract. And these micronutrients will get further absorbed from the villi in the small intestines. From the villi in the small intestine, these will undergo circulation. And through the circulation, it will reach each and every cells. So it entered the cell. So after entering the cell, oxidative reaction takes place. So from where this oxidative reaction takes place? About 95% of the oxidative reaction takes place in the mitochondria. So from the mitochondria, this will be getting converted, these nutrients will be getting converted to carbon dioxide plus water, and thus the liberation of energy. And this liberated energy is used for the synthesis of ATP molecule. So in this pathway, ATP is produced from the food particles which we are ingesting. So what are the uses of ATP in cellular function? The first important use of ATP in cellular function is the transport of substances through the lipid bilayer membrane. In addition to the transport of sodium ions through the lipid bilayer membrane, energy is required for the transport of potassium ions, calcium ions, magnesium ions, chloride ions, phosphate ions, hydrogen ions, and other organic substances. So here, ATP plays a major role in this transport of multiple substances. And second most important function of this ATP inside the cell is the synthesis of certain substances. And these include proteins, pyrimidines, purines, cholesterol, phospholipids, etc. So for this synthesis, energy is required. And this energy is met through ATP molecule. And next function of this ATP in cellular function is mechanical work, and it includes the contraction of muscles. So here this ATP will bind to this myosin head. So when ATP binds to this myosin head, it will split into ADP plus PI and energy. This ADP is adenosine diphosphate and PA is inorganic phosphate, and thus along with that it will liberate energy. And this liberated energy will make this myosin head to attach towards this actin filament, and thus initiating contraction of muscles. And next mechanical function of ATP is for the amoeboid and ciliary motion in the cells. So what are the chemical processes in the formation of ATP in the mitochondria? So imagine the glucose is entering into the cell. So when glucose enters into the cell, this glucose will be getting converted to pyruvic acid in the cytoplasm. During this process, 5% of the cell's ATP is produced. So I will write the reaction. Glucose, after entering into the cell cytoplasm, so this occurs in the cytoplasm. So here glucose will be getting converted to pyruvic acid. At this particular point of time, ADP will combine with inorganic phosphate and forms an ATP molecule. So I told about 5% of the cell's ATP is produced in the cytoplasm during this reaction. So what about 95% of the cell's ATP? From where this 95% of the cell's ATP is produced? So that is produced from the mitochondria. Here inside the mitochondria, the carbohydrates will be getting converted to pyruvic acid. Proteins will be getting converted to amino acids. And lipids will be getting converted to fatty acids. So these micronutrients such as pyruvic acid, amino acid and fatty acids, they will be getting eventually converted to acetyl-CoA. This acetyl-CoA will undergo a series of chemical reactions in which this acetyl-CoA will be getting splitted into its component parts. So the series of reactions in which this acetyl-CoA getting converted to its component parts is known as the Krebs cycle or citric acid cycle. Here, the component parts of this acetyl-CoA, such as the carbon dioxide and hydrogen, will be released during this process. So the released carbon dioxide during this process will be expelled out through the lungs during expiration. So what about hydrogen? What will happen to this hydrogen? This hydrogen atom will be getting splitted to hydrogen ions. And this hydrogen ions, being very reactive, will combine with oxygen molecule, thereby forming water and thereby releasing its energy. So that is so here this 4H plus, that is these hydrogen ions, will combine with the oxygen molecule and thereby it forms water molecules. And at the same time this will release energy. And this reaction is known as ATP synthetase. So the process of conversion of these hydrogen ions along with oxygen to form water plus energy is known as ATP synthetase. Here, this released energy will be utilized for the formation of ATP molecule. That is, so this formed ATP will be getting transported out of the mitochondria to all parts of this nucleus and cytoplasm, thereby energizing various cellular functions. So that covers the topic mitochondria. I hope you guys learned about this particular topic. Thank you so much guys. Love you all guys. See you guys in the next session.